1 cup to go in the street class, and then after that we only have to get through the side events of the street class. And looks like most of these are going to be stadium events as soon as we're done with this. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to get through our final street class cup, which is this, the Special Street City Cup, and where if we win we will get 12 grand for gold, 9,500 for silver, and 7,000 for bronze. As we begin at City Central 1. And yes, I am still using the canyon because, well, I reckon there is going to be chaos. And also because, well, I simply just figured for the basis of me being financially successful, this was just a better choice. Yeah, okay. I think before we try this again, my car really needs some more acceleration at the least. Because I'm just getting absolutely swarmed by the AI at the moment. That much is obvious. And I really couldn't explain why that's the case. And you know what? I think this might be something to do with the exhaust. Or the fact that I don't have the Pro gearbox. That might also be the case. So I'm going to start off by putting that on. Then in terms of the exhaust, I'm going to go with the Pro exhaust. And already got the Pro manifold. What about suspension? Oh, I haven't got that fitted yet, so that might be useful. Yeah, basically I'm just putting on the Pro parts I need for this. Because this is clearly a professionals championship. So I'm basically just going to basically tune the fuck out of this thing. Because at this point it almost seems obvious. And you know what? I think just for the sake of making my ride a little bit faster, I'm going to put on the second nitrous kit. I won't put on the third, but I will put on the second, just so my car is fast enough to realistically make a charge. Which is what I want it to do. Because if I don't, I'm going to keep getting swarmed by the AI. And just keep getting blitzed the way that I have been doing up to this point. So, let's try this again. Well, I haven't made my car that much faster, but hopefully it's at least easier to drive than what it was before. And I have actually made this car race ready. Which, by the way, is what I technically want to do. And there goes Frank, so that just leaves me and Sophia up front. And Jack wrecks himself, as does Frank again. I got a slam on Sophia and had to step on the brakes there so she would not block my view, and I hit a concrete wall. That's probably not surprising. But hopefully, with my body upgrades, I won't get blitzed as much as I did before. Because I think that might be the reason why Jack always seemed to keep blitzing me down the streets. He always just seemed to have... I was actually attempting to wreck him there. I was really going for that one. Just because of the amount of times he blitzed me. I was trying to see if I could get some payback. Okay. Well, that technically counts as payback, but... outside of that, I'm not really sure what else there is. And Sally is already out. Already our first retiree from the special Street City Cup. I have pretty much made this thing almost about as good as it can be. And now Katie's out. So already that is 2 DNFs to open up the campaign. I think it's fair to say we might get more before this is all said and done. I mean, we are doing 3 laps around most of these tracks. Well, I almost got her. It was definitely worth a shot nonetheless. Just to try and see if I could take her out. Because that's kind of what you have to do in this game a lot. Not to say you have to do it every time, but you have to do it frequently enough to show that you have earned your stripes. And now Frank is out, so already that is 3 on the retirements list. And there's Katie's car. I almost ran into the side of Jack. I was actually tempted to see if that was possible, but doesn't matter now because I am up front. And we have 5 cars left on this attempt of race 1. And considering my car actually does feel a little faster, I think this is about as good as I'm gonna get, the way things are shaping up. And over the line first. I think that might have been a scoring error, because it scored Ray as the second placed driver instead of Sophia. I don't know, it could just be a simple scoring error, but anyway. So apparently Ray finishes second with Sophia third, Jason fourth, and Jack in fifth. And then 3 DNFs behind us, as Frank, Katie, and Sally all damaged out. And I also set the fastest lap with a 1 minute 4 point nice. Okay. Made some improvements on my ride, so hopefully that will be the difference maker this time around. Even though when I get down to the grand finals, that is going to be an interesting choice for me to make. But anyway, 2 slams, 2 power hits, equating to a total of a 600 credit bonus. And I get bonus rewards for being both the bulldozer, and I also set the fastest lap. Katie was the blast master, whereas Jason was the best wrecker. So these are your points after race 1, as we had 3 retirees in the first race. And I reckon because we're now heading to downtown, we might get something similar to that. So 3 laps around downtown 1. There always is some sort of chaos around this place. Might also be because this is the longest course in the game. But either way, let's see how we do. I did have to spend a hell of a lot of money to make it so I had pretty much all the pro parts I could fit to this thing. This is me basically making sure that my car is good. And already Katie is out, and Jason also took some heavy damage in that crash as well. Sally and Jack were the ones who avoided the carnage that took place. And now, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure they end up being a part of it. Because I am not taking any prisoners this time. I'm going to make absolutely sure I rub some metal with them as I get another hit on Jason. And somehow I wind up running into something from the side that just ejects me. I don't know what the fuck that was, but there was definitely something that caused my car to eject. And I have no idea what it was. It was almost like I hit something I just couldn't see, and then I just suddenly got ejected from my car without any proper cause. I'm gonna say it, I'm actually pretty pissed off about that. And Jason is out. I almost drilled the side of Jack. So already, after one lap, we already have 2 DNFs. I think it might be where the AI wreck themselves. That's where I am realistically gonna take advantage. Basically, me getting fortune from their misfortunes. That's basically what I think is going to happen here. The way things seem to be going right now. Well, at least I can say with Jason out, it does manage to take a little bit of the heat off me. And apparently I get a crash out on Jack. I guess I must have psyched him out when he was alongside me or something, and now Sally is out. So already before the end of lap 2 we have had 3 DNFs. I think it's very possible to say we might just have a 4th, depending on what happens here. There always is chaos around downtown, so this is definitely one of those cases where I really am just gonna have to not only get the elbows out, but practically just get my whole arms out just to block for this one. That's just what I think this is basically gonna result in being. Me basically just getting both my whole arms out and blocking as much as I possibly can, just to somehow hold on to this. Because prior to this, my other attempts have been pretty bad to say the least. But up until now at least, I have actually managed to establish something that seems to be working. And no further DNFs yet, so it looks like we might end at 3. The way things are going at the moment. But we'll see how we go. I am pretty much out front with the advantage, so hopefully, by God, it can stay that way, as I almost hit 170 heading down that stretch. Anyway, through the final corner, and there we go. Eventually scoring 2 wins in a row. And this time, it was Frank who finished in P2 in a close-fought battle to the end with Ray. Then Jack was 4th and Sophia 5th, and like with the previous race, we had 3 DNFs, this time being Sally, Jason, and Katie. That was crazy. Crazy enough for me to now get a replay. Is what me thinks. That might have just been the perfect shot, depending on how that one went. Because I literally got an explosion to boot in that shot. I'm going to assume the explosions in the hotel must have occurred when I hit the gas pipes or something. Yeah, me riding the wall, that was not intentional, just to be clear. That was a total mistake on my part. Still, I did manage to get some pretty big hits on the AI, so I think that should no doubt give me some good bonus money for the bounty, in spite of the mistakes I made early on. I must have definitely hit something that was on the outside and I couldn't see it. There's honestly no other way I could really think of myself being ejected from my car otherwise. But whatever, it's fine. Well, that explains the explosion behind me. Also, I could have quite literally slammed Jack's ass if I was any closer. That definitely would have been a crash out for sure if I was a little closer to him. But it's fine. I still get a decent amount of money anyway. Plus I did manage to record one full lap of this chaos and destruction. I think that's probably all we really need for a thumbnail. How and whichever way I decide to use it. But anyway, I get 4,000 credits from that. 4 slams, 3 power hits, 0 super flips, 2 blast outs, 1 crash out, and 1 car wrecked. We get 4 grand from causing as much carnage as we did. And I also get 3 out of 4 top driver rewards as well. The best wrecker, the the best wrecker, the fastest lap, and the bulldozer. At least I can say money is easy enough to make back up again. So, you know, there is that. So I now have a 6-point lead over Ray. Frank now moves up to 3rd, with Sophia 4th, and Jack is still 5th. Then we have Jason, Sally, and Katie being the rest of the running order. Now we head to City Central 2. One of my best tracks in the game, I think. No wait, I'm thinking of City Central 3. Still, I do run pretty good around City Central 2, but City Central 3 is definitely one of my best tracks in this game. So 2 wins out of 2 so far. How many more can we get? We shall see. And I get a blast out on Jason. That did not take long at all. And I also get a blast out on Katie, but at what cost? And Katie also resets her ride. It's pretty easy to make up for lost time here because of that one shortcut you have on this course, and yep. And now I'm at the back. Yeah. I really am starting to wonder if I'll even make up time because of that. Well, at least I get a slam on Jack anyway. Which helps me out a little bit. And dragging the sidewall and getting a huge hit on Jack for a moment there. However, the game resets me behind him. And this is where I think the carnage is going to begin. As Jack once again storms past me with his superior acceleration, and that's a wall. Okay. And now I am up into P2. And it is Sophia who leads. Can we get further up the running order? We shall see. And perfect landing. And I get 2 hits on Jason, who is trying to block me. My car is pretty heavily damaged, but it's still drivable, even at this point. And Sophia is not too far ahead of us. I could do nothing to prevent the car from steering into the wall. I really tried to keep it out of there. The game just decided I was just gonna dart into the wall with no real means of compensation whatsoever. And I just clipped her top. I mean, literally, I just clipped her roof as I landed there. Which means there is still a chance for me to come out and win this one, potentially. It's very possible that I could win this one if she makes a mistake. And that's the mistake I needed, and now I am up at the front. I don't think this is going to be a clean sweep, but it would be nice if I could get 3 in a row to start this off. If I can just hold on long enough, I should have a shot at this. And over the jump, perfect landing, hit the wall slightly there, but I do come out with the win. Over Jack and Sophia, and Ray finished in P4. And also, everyone made it to the line this time, and I get slammed from behind as I would have expected. But anyway, everyone finished this time, so that's the important thing. So myself, over Jack, Sophia, and Ray, that is your top 4. And now we are 3 races into the special Street City Cup. Let's see if we can take our domination even further. So another 1500 credits, 3 blast outs, 2 slams, and 2 power hits. And I get the bonus rewards for both the best wrecker as well as the blast master. Nice. And now I have an 11-point lead up at the top. And the AI continue to be consistently inconsistent, as Frank now drops down to 5th. But anyway, we're halfway there now. Let's head to Downtown 2. In spite of all the problems I had at Downtown 1, I still managed to eventually get myself the win, even though attrition partly did help me out there, but whatever. we did manage to make it through the third race with no DNFs. So maybe we can push this one further. Maybe we can push this one further. As Katie and Jason both get caught up in their own skirmish. And I get a pretty big hit there on Jack. Don't want to hit that. I somehow avoid it though. And I come out in P2 as Jason leads. Well, it is nice to actually start this off with a hat trick. But I think this might be where my win streak ends, because as much as I know this game can often be a benefactor for the player, it can also be wildly unpredictable when it comes to results. Especially because the AI in this game at times can be ruthless. But I am still in this, and I ultimately pay the price as a result of still being in it. And there must have been a huge pile up there. Couldn't explain how though. Anyway, I'm back up to second, and Jack is out. I kind of knew because of some of the hits he took he was going to be a retiree. I mean, he took some very big hits. Just some huge hits on that first lap. I don't think it was going to be enough for his car to survive that sort of damage. So I'm back up into second. And it looks like at this point I might just be able to extend my lead even further, because I have consistency on my side. And also the simple ability to be accident prone in spite of my consistency. Well, looks like Jason is gonna pretty much waltz away with this one. It looks like none of us are really going to catch him at this stage. So I think I'm just going to accept my laurels and settle for second this time. I mean, I am ahead of my main rivals, plus I did get the hat trick I wanted, so I think we're fine for now. And Katie now moves up to third as a result of... oh, and now she's out. Well, that sucks. I was really hoping she was actually going to finish in the top 3, but unfortunately her car is too fragile. But anyway, got enough of a distance in second, and that is where I am going to finish. Considering the way race 2 went for most of the way, I would gladly accept P2 after achieving a hat trick. So myself finishes 14 seconds behind Jason. Then Sophia third, Ray fourth, Franken fifth, and last of the finishers, as Katie, Sally and Jack were all retirees in this race. I was really hoping Katie was actually going to finish on the podium, but nope. Her car had too much damage to make that sort of charge, unfortunately. Which kind of sucks. But again, it's not too surprising because, well, the chili pepper is pretty weak in terms of its strength. But anyway, 3 slams, 1 super flip, 2 blast outs, and 1 crash out. And once again, I take the 1000 credits for the fastest lap. And Jason got the bulldozer award as well for his domination. Alright. So Jason, as a result of his win, now moves up to 4th. Jack has now dropped down to 6th. as a result of him crashing out. And Katie is now 2 points clear of Sally. As I continue to extend my lead, this time with a 14-point gap. And now we head on to one of my best tracks, City Central 3. And then once we are done here, we should have just one race to go. And without further ado, let's get on with our 5th and penultimate race of the special Street City Cup. And already Jason tries to sideswipe me, and he pays a pretty hefty price for that one. As I spin Ray around. And also noticing some potential wrecking going on there. And I go straight into the median. I'll admit, driving on some of these courses after a while, they do get a little bit repetitive. That's not to say it isn't fun, but when you eventually do realise that you are driving on the same tracks over and over again after a while, it just doesn't quite feel as interesting later on in the game as it does early on in the game. But I think this game makes up for it because we do get some unique bonus events which we can either choose to do or not do. They're entirely optional. Doesn't affect the career progress in any way, it's just something you might want to do as a bonus. And that's basically what I do. And this field at the moment is pretty contradictory in terms of the results right now. And I get a slam on Frank, however I do shut the door on him. Actually, on second thoughts, I am pretty sure it is City Central 3 that is one of my best tracks in this game, and Katie is now up to second. Would actually be nice to see her get a good result for once, if her car manages to stay together. Which, as you might have guessed, is what I'm hoping for, because I like to see the Chili Pepper do well. And my top speed in this thing is 171, and I think I just killed Jason's ass, and yes I did. I literally just killed Jason's ass in that crash. I just quite literally killed it. That is very ironic. Come on, stay together, stay together, stay together. Okay, come on. And Katie now drops down to 4th. I think Jason has now had 2 retirements in this competition, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, doesn't matter because I come away with yet another win. And for some reason Jack has scored down in 5th. I don't know why. But anyway, Sophia 2nd, Sally 3rd, Frank 4th, Jack 5th, Ray 6th, and Katie 7th. So I think that's now going to move Sally up into 7th, if I'm not mistaken, in the points, and Katie is going to drop down to the back. Because, well, as I said before, her chili pepper is pretty fragile. But anyway, 2 slams, 2 power hits, and 1 crash out. And I get the bulldozer reward. Meanwhile, the other 3 rewards are occupied by Ray Carter and Sally Taylor. Alright, 4 out of 5 wins, and at this point, I have no doubts in saying that I am basically going to win this no matter what. So now we head to Downtown 3, our 6th and final race of the Special Street City Cup, as well as also being our final race of the street class, because afterwards we move on to the side events, like we always do. Anyway, here we go. 3 laps around Downtown 3, and we are racing at night. That did not work at all. Well, at least I get some damage there on Sophia that works somehow. And I just got a huge hit there on Frank. I have no idea how though, but I literally just racked his ass on both those occasions there. Really couldn't explain how though. And yep, chaos is happening all over the place at the moment. And Sally is wanting some revenge. I'm gonna try my best to not give her that revenge. So there's your running order. Sally is now out. And the next guy up ahead of me is Jason. As to where Jack is running at the moment, well, I think he is in a league of his own at this time. And yes, he is. So unless he has a wreck at this point, which I don't think is going to happen, I would say 3rd might be the best I can ask for at this point. Unless I can catch up to Jason. Well, at least I can say Katie is doing a good job of staying out of the wrecks at the moment. Or at least she was before that happened. Well, looks like she is going to be last again in her very fragile chili pepper, which seems to be the trend these days, unfortunately. But whatever. I'm still fighting for 3rd, and that's probably the best I can really ask for, as I right hook Sally into the wall there. Because this wasn't done in real life, it's pretty much consequence free. So with both Sally and Katie out, Sally is going to take 7th over Katie. However, it looks like I am going to finish P3 in this race. That's probably the best I can really hope for. I'm not going to get second. Oh, and the top two have wrecked. Don't know how though. Could that actually be enough for me to win? It just might be. So out to the final corner. And somehow, some way, I actually come out on top. Have no idea how though, but the top two literally wrecked right before the finish. Have no idea how though. But anyway, I win by precisely 3 seconds over Sophia. Then Jack, as a result of him binning it before the end, finishes third. Jason fourth, Frank fifth, and Ray Carter was sixth and last of the finishers, as both Sally and KT DNF'd. I'm also pretty sure that's Jason's car that is also on its roof, a lot like mine is. But either way, I somehow find a way to come out on top. Don't know how, but I did. So 5 slams, 4 power hits, and 3 blast outs. And in terms of bonus rewards, I get both the Blastmaster and Fastest Lap awards. Frank turned out to be the best wrecker, and Jack got the bulldozer. And there you are, there is your running order. So 5 out of 6 wins to me. Then we had Sophia second with 38, Ray finishes third with 30, Jack and Frank both tie for fourth with 28 points. Jason, as a result of his win, scored 25 points in the end, and also had 2 DNFs in that championship. And then we had Sally in 7th, just beating KT in the end, because of Sally scoring a podium in race 5. That was what made the difference. So 58, 38, 30, 28, 28, 25, 14, and 13 are your final point scores, with myself over Sophia, Ray, Jack, Frank, Jason, Sally, and KT. So 5 golds, 1 silver, a bonus of 12 grand, and as a result of us beating the street class, we have now unlocked Speedway Special, and we have also unlocked Bullet GT. Nice. And as a result of us beating the street class, we have now unlocked the Street Finals, and we have got a bonus of 20 grand. Cool. So there we go, 100% in all 3 class disciplines, and all I have to do now is get through the side events, as we've got Ring of Fire, Field Goal, Speedway Left, Ski Jump, Baseball, Speedway Right, Curling, Darts, Soccer, and Speedway Special to finish off on the bonus events. So that's pretty much all 34 cars in the game unlocked now. And I don't think we get any bonuses if we get all gold in the side events. But anyway, there we go. The Street Class Cups are now done, and next time we will be getting through the side events of the Street Class. However, that will be coming another day because I'm pretty tired now, and also because it's nearly midnight at the time of when I'm recording this on a Thursday night. Anyway, yeah. Street Class side events are up next.
love the